with Purpose along with Megan Gist and from the Stylish School Counselor. Last week I posted a little blog post about how I use Google Docs and Google Forms on campus to document all of the students I see. And so I just wanted to do a quick how-to video because we received tons of questions and comments about how to get this going for those of you that may not be as familiar with Google. So that's what I'm here to do today, and I do want to apologize. We have a lot of construction going on, a new house being built next to us, so if you hear loud noises, that's what it's coming from. Before I start, I just want to have a quick disclaimer, and that is to please check with your district technology department. Our campus, well, our whole district recently went Google, so that was really important that I used my district Google account to create this form. Now today, just for the how-to video, I'm using my Stylish School Counselor Google account, but for the actual documentation form that I use on campus, I use my district assigned Google account. That just ensures the safety and security and the confidentiality of all the students' information. So just a quick tip, please check with your technology department or make sure that you're using a secure Google account. All right, so once you sign into Google, you'll go to your Drive, and this is what it will look like if you're not familiar with Google. And you're going to click New, and you're going to go all the way down to More, and then you'll click Google Forms. Once you're in the forms, it'll look like this. And the first thing you'll want to do is title your form. So I'm just going to title it Student Contact Log. You don't have to do a form description. That's more if you're sharing it with multiple people and they're needing instructions on how to use it. The first thing I am going to want as my question is I'm going to want to know the student's last name. So basically you can put in whatever you want. That's the beauty of this, is you can customize it to whatever information you're wanting. The first option, I don't want it to be little circles or multiple choice. So if you look over here on the right, this will help you decide on how you want to display the options. So for student last name, I'm just wanting short answer. I just want to be able to go in and type their last name quickly. And so I've got to make sure that all matches up. And then down here where it says required, I'm going to move this over because I don't want this form to submit if I forgot to put the last name in. Just a heads up, all of the questions that I'm creating, I am going to make them required because I want all of that information in my summary of responses. So now I'm ready to add my next question. So I'm going to go over here and you'll see this little toolbar to the right, and I'm going to hit the plus sign for add a question. And since I wanted the student last name, of course I want the student's first name. Again, I want this to be a short answer. And so you'll see it says short answer text. It'll be required. And I'm ready for my next question. We are a middle school campus, 7th and 8th grade. So for me and for Miss Guest, our principal, and the co-AP that I work with, the grade level is very important because it'll allow us to sort data by grade level and just to keep track of the students we're seeing and in what grade they're in. So this time I'm going to get a little wild and I'm going to click check boxes. So again, like I said, we're 7th and 8th grade, so I'm just going to put 7th and 8th. If you're high school or elementary, you'll be able to just keep adding options if you need more. So anytime you're needing another checkbox or another, if you're doing multiple choice, another multiple choice option, you just have to click add option here. Or if you just want other, like a other checkbox where you can put in any information you want, you would just click other. So again, this will be required for me. And then I want to know the type of visit it was. And again, I'm going to use the check boxes. I want to know right here if I visited with the student or their parent. I will always type in the student's last name and first name, but I want to know if it was the student I visited with or the parent. I also want to know if I visited with a staff member on that student. So if I was visiting with Mickey Mouse, I'd put Mouse for last name, Mickey for first. Let's say he's a 7th grader, and I visited with the student and then I spoke with a staff member. Maybe they keep getting in trouble, and so of course you want to solve that and dig deeper, and so we called in a social worker. I want to record any time that I've met on that student or tried to provide support, just because that's more documentation and data. And this is going to be required as well. And then the next thing that I want to add is the purpose of the visit. So what I mean by that is, was this, I'm sorry, let me go to checkboxes. I was getting a little excited there. I want to know if this was a discipline visit, if this was maybe bullying, or if this was, they were just reporting information, or if this was emotional support. I know I am an administrator, but I do still have some friends that want to come talk. Or if this was academic, we were looking at grades and celebrating growth. Our campus form has a lot more options than this, but I just wanted y'all to get the idea of you can add whatever you want. Maybe on your campus you have lots of meetings with students and it's something that does not relate to this. This is where you could add it. I also like to add other, because sometimes it might be something that doesn't fit with this. And I apologize, I was typing so fast, I spelled that wrong. Okay, so I added other, and that will be required as well. So I'm going to add one more question, and you can add as many, or maybe you want to do less and you just want the student's name and reason. I like to add notes, because if I have, maybe I worked a deal out with that student or family member based on their needs, I want to document that. Or maybe their parent, when I spoke with their parent, they provided me really helpful information. I might want to add that to my notes. So on this, I'm going to choose paragraph so that I'll have a lot of room to type as much as needed. I don't get too detailed, but I do like to add notes if there's something helpful or useful that may come in handy later on. And then again, I want to make this required. So once you've created all of the questions and the format and set all of that up, then you can do the fun part. Here at the top right hand corner, you'll see a couple of options that we're going to go over, and the first one is color palette. Here you can change the color of your Google form. You could go right here and you could add a picture. So if you have a school logo, you could upload your photo right here, or you could just choose one of these. There's different themes: work and school, travel, other. Let's say I want to make it school appropriate. And so that's what it will look like. Next, you'll click on the eye if you'd like to see a preview of how your form will actually look once it's live. And so this is what my form looks based on what I put in. And that's kind of how, if you need to go back after you click that preview, you can just click this pencil back to editing where we were earlier. The next thing is you'll click this little gear, and this is your settings. And do not, I wouldn't recommend, so I don't want to say do not. I wouldn't recommend can submit only one response and requires login, because you're only going to be sharing this either just to keep to yourself or sharing it with your counseling team or admin team or however you're utilizing this. So you probably don't want to require a login after one response. I have mine set under submit another response, show respondents a link to submit another response. That way, after I use the form and I click submit, a link will come up to where I can submit another one. So if I'm seeing students back to back, I'll be able to do that. I also want to see a summary of responses. And this is fun, where it says confirmation page, message for respondents. This is really a message for you or the team using it. So I always like to write something fun, like have a magical day. Keep rocking it. You can just write a motivational message, and I'll show you where you'll see that in just a minute. So I'm going to click save. Again, I just wrote a message here, checked these 2 boxes. And now I'm ready to send this. So to send it, you're going to just hit the send button, and then you can email it if you're sharing it with your co-counselors or co-administrators or principal. If you are sharing it with them and they're going to utilize this and you want them to see the summary of responses so they can manipulate the data, you need to make sure you click add collaborators at the bottom. That way they'll be able to edit. Because if you just send the link, they won't be able to actually edit the form or access the data. So what I like to do is I like to email this to myself and open it on my email on my phone. That way I can save the link to my home screen, and it almost creates like a little app, like a shortcut. So on my phone, it'll just say student contact log. I can click it and it'll take me to my form. That way if I'm in the hallway, I can still submit that information right away. So what I do is I'm going to copy the link and save it under my bookmarks, so that way I just have to click it on my computer, and like I said, I have it on my phone on my home screen. So this is what my form will look like, and I'm just going to quickly show you an example. Let's say I saw Mickey Mouse. He's in 7th grade. I talked to the student and the parent, and it was for discipline. I might say he had an office referral from Miss Cinderella. Conference with student. And if discipline's given, I usually will add it there as well. And then submit. And look, there's my magical day. Keep rocking it. So let's get to summary of responses. I'm going to go back to my Google Drive and I'm going to click my form. And it'll say questions and responses, and I'm going to click responses. I have 1 response. Now this is not easy to manipulate or view. I mean, it's very nice and pretty, but I want to see this in an Excel, similar to Excel. So if you look right here, there's a green square and it says create spreadsheet. So I'm going to create a new spreadsheet. Make sure the title is student log because you want it to match up. And then you're going to click create. And this is where all of that data from the forms goes. So you'll be able to manipulate it just like an Excel sheet. Ours at this point of the year has hundreds of names. And so I can go to data right here and filter. And let's say I wanted to see all of the students in order from last name. I'd go sort A to Z. I know there's only 1, so it's hard to see. And then I can sort by the type of visit, the purpose of the visit, the date. There's a lot of neat options. So hopefully this was helpful to you and you have a better understanding of how to utilize Google Forms and Sheets and to document students you're seeing. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment. We are happy to help, and I hope this will be a useful tool that you'll be able to utilize on your campus. Have a great day.